Hi, guys. Welcome back to week number 2 of our sports talk show. I'm Coach Brian, and we have, he's over there. You point the right way.
I'm Coach Jacob.
And we got Coach Jacob with us today. So we're all excited. We're going to be hopping into a bunch of the latest topics in sports of what happened this week. But before we do that, how's your week been, Jacob?
It's been good. It's a fun week of sports. There's a lot that's been going on. How's yours?
I've been great, man. Baseball's back. I can't be happier, man. I've been so lost without sports during this quarantine. I think I talked about that a little last week, but man, the amount of joy sports brings in general is just great, right?
Yeah, I heard you got to go out and play a little bit of golf. How was that?
Oh, it was great, man. My golf game is still a work in progress after all these years of playing, but
I wish I would have got an invite to the tea time. I would have been there, but
maybe next time. Maybe next time. I'll see if you make the cut next time.
I know you're kind of scared, but it's okay.
Okay. So I guess let's just hop right into it, right? So I'm a Giants fan. I'm gonna start out with baseball. Start out
You're
strong.
ready for baseball. I can see it.
I'm ready, man. I got the smile on my face. I'm excited. So I want to talk about my Giants. They got off to a hot start, and they kind of hit the brakes pretty hard. We played the Rangers and the Rockies, and of course Nolan Arenado was just like a human wrecking train against the Giants, man, like he always is. A crazy stat I saw is the Giants over the past couple years. If you look at who's hit the most home runs against them, both of the top two guys are both on the Rockies. Isn't that pretty crazy?
It is.
The Rockies, they're really good this year, but in the past they haven't even been that good to be destroyed by one team, man. Trevor Story and Nolan Arenado are just great baseball players, right? And I mean, the Giants' story has kind of been the same. They're hurting themselves with errors. You're a big basketball, football guy. Man, imagine if you have a football team missing tackles. You didn't have to deal with that.
You can't do that. None of the lazy arm tackling.
Oh, man. You got Luke Kuechly on your Panthers, or you did for the longest time.
You just had to throw them there.
Yeah, I had to. But, it was a good reason because he didn't miss tackles, man. You didn't have to struggle with those errors as much, man. And that's what's really been hurting the Giants. They actually lead the league in errors by 7 or 8. It's a lot. So, I mean, they're really holding themselves back. But we got Mike Yastrzemski, the 29-year-old phenom who kind of came out of nowhere, exploded on the scene. He's the grandson of a Hall of Fame baseball player. It's a cool fact about him. But he still leads the entire baseball and wins above replacement, which is WAR. It's a crazy stat. I love stats. I'm a stat guy. If you want a stat, throw it in the chat, and I'll try finding a stat about your team that I think is cool. Hopefully you will too, since it's your favorite team. The Giants also got Donovan Solano, leads the league in batting average. He's on an 11-game hit streak. You can't slow him down. You just can't slow him down one bit. And then
because I hear you talking about him all the time.
Yeah, Donnie Barrels. I mean, dude.
Who's your favorite player on the Giants?
Ooh, that's a great question. Right now or ever? Yeah. Right now, it probably is Yastrzemski, Yaz. I mean, dude. Yaz and Donnie Barrels. Those are two of the best nicknames in baseball right now, and they're on one team. It's just great. Do you have a favorite sports nickname that comes to mind?
A favorite sports nickname?
Yeah, a player who has a really cool nickname or something that you could think of.
Coolest name ever, Coco Crisp.
Dude, honestly, Coco Crisp, that's a good name, man.
A great name.
Dude, growing up, I always got hungry when I saw his name. I'd see the Coco Crisp, and I'm like, man, I want some Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, the first time I heard that, I didn't believe it was real.
Dude, I was just laughing. I remember being a little kid, thought that was so funny, dude. It was great. Well, speaking of Coco Crisp, he played for your team, that Oakland Athletics, right?
Yep.
So let's get into athletics. They've actually won their last 6 games. And here, let me bring it up real quick. I think they're winning right now, or they're going to be playing soon. I just checked it. I thought they were winning.
Don't sleep on the A's. I'm telling you.
Especially right now, man. They're money. Ooh, they actually aren't playing right now. I got that one wrong. But yeah, they've been on fire. And actually, last week when I brought up the A's, I mentioned there was one thing they really needed to do. Like their pitching was there, their defense was there, but their like offense, they just weren't hitting home runs. They weren't scoring. And dude, in the last week, we saw Matt Olson, dude, their first baseman. He hit 3 home runs in a 24-hour span. Dude, 3 home runs in 24 hours. Like anybody not named Aaron Judge is not doing that right now. Aaron Judge,
that guy's on another level.
Yeah, he's a 6'7" beast. He looks like a football player out there. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. But like it hasn't only been Matt Olson. Like we've also had Scotty Piscotty. No, his name's not actually Scotty. I just wish his name was Scotty Piscotty because that'd be hilarious. His name is Steven Piscotty. He's a great baseball player. And he hit a walk-off grand slam. Think about that, dude.
Yep.
Grand slams are insane as is. And to hit a walk-off grand slam, that's just wild. Wild. And I mean, I think the A's have really found their confidence lately. Like, what do you think about that?
That's what everybody needs right now. You need to find that groove, and you need to start building that confidence. And what better way than to come off with a hot streak right off the get-go? And like I've been telling you, don't sleep on the A's, man. Their confidence is through the roof right now, and don't be surprised. I'm telling you, just wait on it.
Yeah, man. The A's, like everyone kind of knew they would be good. Like the biggest thing holding the A's back.
Persevere. I know it.
Have the Houston Astros in their division. The A's are in first right now. They're holding back the Astros, but the Astros are right on their heels. They're looking to prove everyone wrong that they are a good team, even with their whole
scandal,
their whole cheating scandal, we'll call it. Yeah. So they're out on a mission trying to prove to everyone they're more than just that scandal. They're still really good ball players. They're deserving of that World Series trophy they won.
Yeah.
And while we're talking about confidence, like Jesus Luzardo, he's the rookie A's pitcher who made his debut this week. Like there was a lot of hype about this guy, and it's great to see him out there. My favorite name is
great nickname.
Panda. Yeah, Pablo Sandoval. Oh, dude, I had a Pablo Sandoval poster in my room. I must have just taken it down. But yeah, Pablo Sandoval, you can't go wrong with the Panda. We also got Brandon Belt at first, the giraffe. Like how often do you see a panda and a giraffe on the field together? Let's be real.
Rare. It's rare.
It's very rare. But back to Jesus Luzardo, man. It was great to see a rookie come out there in his first professional start with all that confidence. Man, dude, he was like untouchable. That's something you rarely see. Yeah. And then let's venture a little farther out of the Bay Area for baseball. We got the Miami Marlins, who after their whole COVID scare where like they had like 18 guys get the virus and they looked like a mess. Everyone thought the Marlins were going to get baseball season canceled. Well, the Marlins are healthy. They're back to playing baseball and they're 6-1. I got to repeat that. The Miami Marlins are 6-1.
They get some luck rubbed off right there.
Dude, talk about resilience skills. Talk about not giving up.
Yep.
Like, dude, coming into the season, everyone was convinced the Marlins worst team in baseball. Like, it wasn't even an argument. Like, nobody would even have the discussion. Just Marlins worst team in baseball. And they're sitting here 6-1. And they don't even have their full squad back because they still have guys out.
And they're playing with an ill squad right now.
Yeah, man. They literally just started signing guys who weren't playing, who like weren't even like.
Yeah.
Because the minor league season got canceled. So all these guys are just like, they were just sitting at home.
You could have made it onto the roster. You should have won it.
Oh, man, dude. I haven't played baseball in a long, long time. You're giving.
I thought all that softball training in Monterey was going to help you get there, you know?
My softball swing doesn't convert to baseball. Softball comes in nice, high, and slow. Baseball, they're pumping 99-mile-per-hour heaters at you. I'm not ready for that. But, and then let's just, off the Marlins, let's talk about the other team that were struggling with all this scandal. We have the Cardinals, right? So the Marlins and Cardinals, it came out that there was 28 teams upset at the Cardinals and Marlins, which there's only 30 teams in baseball. So it pretty much said all the teams were upset at these two guys. And it's because the other teams felt they weren't taking the restrictions serious enough.
Yeah.
Got to it. Yeah. So it got to a point where the MLB stepped in and was like, do you know what? Because of you guys, we have to be more strict on everyone.
Yeah,
So do you think that was the right move on the MLB's part?
of course.
Like,
How do you monitor, you know, professional athletes when they're traveling? You know, you can't. That's why we mentioned it last week's episode. How the NBA has a bubble, and even still, I'm sure they're, you know, still probably finding difficulties monitoring everything. Everything's going well. It seems everything's going smooth in the NBA, but for baseball, you don't have that privilege of being in just a bubble. You know, everyone needs their own practice facility and their own, you know, place to play their games. You can't just share, you know, a couple fields easily. But they're gonna have to tighten up on that. That's for sure.
yeah, for sure.
You
So
know,
one of the restrictions
selfish not to. They got to make sure that they're showing respect to everybody,
oh yeah,
including themselves.
exactly where I was going to go. We have the code of conduct, right? You got to show respect for yourself and others,
Hmm.
surroundings. But we got to focus on yourself and others here, right? Like these players need to be looking out for their own health. Like
Yeah,
they're not healthy. They're out of they don't get to play the sport they love. And it's scary what's going on, right? So you want to stay healthy, and then you have to show respect for your teammates because part of it is trust. Like I have to trust you and have enough respect for you that you're not going to be going out and messing around because you can be getting me sick.
yep.
So it's just that whole thing. It goes both ways, right? And what's crazy is we thought the Cardinals and Marlins stuff was behind us, and then it came out today that the Cardinals had another player test positive. And it's getting to that point with the Cardinals. It's like the other teams are looking at them going, come on, guys. Like, we're doing our part. It's time for you guys to step up and do your part.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these players, they finally got the sport back they love. They're finally playing again. The fans are all pumped up. And right now we have this team in the Cardinals that a lot of people are worried might kind of – because it only takes one to ruin it, right? Like, we say that to our kids sometimes. Like, one kid's messing around, it could ruin it for the whole group. So right now the Cardinals are that person. They're the one ruining it for the group.
Yeah, I feel like the Marlins should be a little more under the gun as well, though.
Yeah, no, for sure, because the Marlins had the major outbreak. But since their major outbreak, the thing the Marlins have done that the Cardinals haven't is they've contained it, and they've made an effort to not to attempt to not have it happen again.
Yep, I know what you mean.
So we'll see where this season leads. But on a lighter note, to finish baseball,
one thing I do enjoy are the celebrations.
Oh yeah, man, celebrations! It's been a great week for celebrations. We had Tatis Jr. He's like a young stud on the San Diego Padres, right? Hit a home run, just hit an absolute bomb, and just celebrate as he's walking to first base, get all pumped up. We had Dubon on the Giants. He's not as big of a name, so it wasn't national news, but Dubon last night hits a home run and starts yelling to his dugout, pumping them all up. And then the next inning, Daniel Murphy on the Rockies hits a home run and just stares down Dubon the whole time he's running the bases. So what happened yesterday in that Giants-Rockies game brings up the conversation, does celebrating have a place in baseball? Because some people say it does, but then you got other people who are not really about the celebrations. So what do you think about that?
Bring it on. But there's a point. You know, you got to make sure that you're being a good sport about it. You got to show sportsmanship. It's like when you're working so hard, especially as a professional athlete, you're working so hard. You know, you've been grinding the whole week or whatever it is for pretty much your whole life, working really hard, and when you finally hit that home run, or you finally throw that touchdown pass, or you finally, that's what they're working towards.
Hard to
That's exactly what they're working towards. So how do you not get excited when you do something like that? Now, maybe staring down the opponent isn't my style of a celebration, but if you're pumped on your way to first, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who became professionals who were born from maybe not so privileged areas, and they grew up with the love of the game, and especially coming up and doing something huge like that and hitting a home run, and I, I would be happy. I'd be celebrating.
Exactly, man. And like for me, what like I always go back to this one moment because it sticks out to me. The Blue Jays were in the playoffs. I want to say it was the ALDS, so before the championship series, and Jose Bautista hits a walk-off home run, absolute bomb, right? Like it's a no doubter. As soon as he hits it, everybody watching knew it was a home run, right? And he stands there and just watches it, holding his bat up, as because they're at home and the crowd's going wild. Like it's going so wild, the camera's shaking. And
Yeah.
that moment, although it was huge for the Blue Jays, I'm not a Blue Jays fan, but I remember that moment because how huge it was, because of the significance. If Bautista doesn't stand there and hold his bat up, watch that ball go out and flip his bat, nobody's going to remember it in a sense. Like it made that huge moment so much better. And he hit a walk-off. Like, how are you going to contain yourself? Like, you won the game in the playoffs. And people got upset about that bat flip. So I think it really goes back to what you mentioned, sportsmanship, right? Like,
have you ever hit a home run, Brian?
In softball, yeah.
What'd you do?
I'm not that good, so I just walk back to the dugout. Softball, you don't really, like, I mean, you hit a home run in softball, you don't run the bases. You just walk back to your dugout.
Yeah, but weren't you pumped?
Oh, I was probably super excited.
In the dugout, I know you went crazy.
The problem with it is I usually hit a solo home run, and in softball, solo home runs are kind of frowned upon because you only get so many. So when I went back to the dugout, I was getting more hate than anything for using one of our home runs up on a solo. I didn't mean to hit it out. I missed the ball.
That's funny. Let's journey on over to a different sport here.
Ooh,
let's go to basketball.
Ooh, I like
huge right now. It's huge right now. This week in sports, Lakers clinched the number 1 spot.
Oh,
in the Western Conference.
How about them Lakers?
The Bucks clinched the number 1 spot in the Eastern Conference. Right,
I would not be shocked to see those two teams play against each other in the championship.
That's going to be a good game. It's going to be a really good game. We'll see what happens. Right now, in the West, the remaining 7 spots, 6 of those 7 have been filled. So there's one more spot on the 8th seed.
Oh, we got a Lakers fan in chat. Uh-oh.
Oh, man. We'll talk about the Lakers right now. We'll talk about the Lakers because there's some interesting stuff happening. The Rockets beat the Lakers. Now, the Lakers did not have LeBron James. The Rockets did not have Russell Westbrook. We'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. But Lakers have clinched the number 1 spot in the West. As I mentioned, the spots 2 through 7 are clinched. Number 8 seed right now is the open spot for the West. Now, there's teams that are battling right now. Grizzlies have 33 wins. They are 3 games ahead of the Suns. The Suns are in 11th, so that means there's 3 teams that are just right there. The Grizzlies look like if they can keep doing what they're doing, they might be able to hold off all the other teams and clinch that last seed. But the Trailblazers are 1 game behind them. The Spurs are 3 games behind them, along right there with the Suns. The Suns have been hot lately. Devin Booker. Oh my goodness, he can be deadly. Especially with this bubble format, how short everything is.
Dude, when he's in his zone, he's fun to watch. He's a lot of fun to watch. There's not too many players like him when he's locked in his zone.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, number 1 seed for the West is the Lakers. Number 2 is the Clippers. We got Nuggets taking the 3rd, Rockets 4th, Jazz 5th.
The Nuggets.
What was that?
The Nuggets are 3rd.
The Nuggets are 3rd.
That's kind of. I mean, I'm not an avid basketball watcher. I'll watch the playoffs. That's the extent of my basketball fanship. I love watching playoff basketball, but I'll watch playoffs any sport. Nuggets being 3rd though really surprises.
Have you seen Bol lately?
Is Bol going off? Dang. Yeah. I know they have who do the Nuggets have? They have Jokic, right?
Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, so I know they have him. They have Jamal Murray, right?
Yes, they do.
Okay, so yeah. So I kind of thought it was those two carrying it, but it's like Jokic and Bol. That's interesting.
Well, everyone's putting in their part right now. So, they're clinched already. They're in. They're in. So they're giving a lot of the younger guys some opportunities right now. That's why Bobo's getting a lot of time. But he has proven to just be like a force for that team right now. He's making shots. He's 7'1", 7'2", with like a 7'8" wingspan, something crazy like that. He is killing it for the Nuggets. But yeah, we got the Jazz, Rockets fourth, Jazz fifth, Thunder sixth, Mavericks seventh, and again we're battling for the eighth seed. On the Eastern Conference, I mentioned Bucks are number one. Number two, the Raptors. You know, they're showing that even without Kawhi, they're still a playoff team. They're still an elite team.
That they're more than just Kawhi, because a lot of people were saying like, "Oh, you guys are just like all Kawhi Leonard without Kawhi. What are you?" So
yeah. Patrick Siakam is something special. He's a young guy coming up. We got Celtics already clinching the third spot. Heat on the fourth. Pacers, which TJ Warren, my goodness, that guy, not a name anyone's going to expect. Brought in for cash considerations. Talk about persevering right here. This guy was, he's a veteran. He got brought in. Literally, they just paid for him. Cash considerations, that was it. So he wasn't really happy about that, and he made a statement. He wants to prove that he's worth more than just cash considerations, and he is going hard for the Pacers right now. 76ers have clinched the 6th seed, and with a little bit of unfortunate news, Ben Simmons just goes down indefinitely.
I saw that, man.
Yep, with a partially dislocated kneecap.
That's sad, man. I can't even imagine, dude. I dislocated my pinky knuckle, and like that hurt. I can't even imagine dislocating a kneecap.
That's going to be huge, especially for the 76ers.
Mm-hmm.
They have the ability. They had the ability to go all the way, but they're going to need Simmons, and he just stepped up his game. He started making shots. He was looking great. He did a lot of fancy stuff in the last couple games, behind the back and type of passes and shots, and he was looking good. And he drove a little bit and tried to force it, and he landed kind of funny, and he ended up having to hobble off the court, and which is pretty unfortunate to see because I kind of like that team.
So, do you think without Simmons they can recover, or do you think it's kind of their season's kind of chalked if he doesn't recover?
It's hard to say. They're a good team regardless, and they have a couple of other injuries right now that could be vital. Hopefully, they're not anything that's going to be too serious in the long run, but it could be crucial for them. So, I don't think they're going to make it. I don't think they're going to make it.
Yeah, that's a tough one to recover from. I mean, being a Raiders fan, I remember when Derek Carr, like 2015, like that was the one good year the Raiders have had in so long. I was so pumped, and then right before the playoffs, Derek Carr like breaks a couple of bones in his back.
Yep.
Or no, that was actually the foot injury. He got landed on funny, and we had no chance of winning without a quarterback because our backup was a rookie with little experience. So I think Ben Simmons is kind of similar, where he's like the captain of the team, and it'll be hard to recover.
He is the guy. Yeah. So for the 7th seed though, it's still open 7 and 8. We have the Nets at 7th and the Magic at 8th.
Magic.
Yes, the Nets are one game ahead of the Magic for the 7th seed. Hornets
last week too.
Hornets aren't actually going to be in. I'm sorry, they're out already. They're not in the bubble. But yeah, so it's gonna be pretty epic to see. It's gonna be interesting. So if we look at the tree here, the brackets, what it looks like right now is if the NBA were to end right now and we'd go into playoffs, we'd be looking at the Los Angeles Lakers versus Memphis Grizzlies in the first round, Houston and Jazz in the first round, Denver and OKC in the first round, Clippers and Dallas. Then we go on to the East. We see Milwaukee and Orlando, Miami and Indiana, Boston and Philadelphia, and then Toronto and Brooklyn. Man, who are you rooting for? I know you're a Warriors fan.
I'm kind of like all over the place.
See, who's deserving? Who's been really really resilient? Who's been persevering? Who's been trying their best? You know,
I mean,
who's been?
it's hard for me to like. I don't really I'm not connected to the players the same way I am in like baseball and football. But like Jokic is a player I really want to see succeed. Like Nuggets, like it'd be cool to watch the Nuggets win, just because in a sense I feel like basketball tends to get very monotonous, like kind of boring. Like you see the same teams every year. There's not really like any mix up, and I feel like the Nuggets is a team we haven't really seen a lot.
Yeah,
and they were struggling for a while. I mean, I can't remember them being significant since like Carmelo Anthony was there.
Yeah. If it were to end today and I had to choose one of these teams here, I'm actually hoping, I'm a big fan of Ja Morant, but I'm hoping that Damian Lillard and the Portland Trailblazers sneak that eighth seed.
Yeah.
And I'd be rooting for them to go on. But if it were to end right now, I wouldn't mind seeing Giannis take a title.
Yeah.
From the East.
You know Giannis is going to win one eventually, though. That's the kind of thing where I sit with that.
You know who I've been interested, though, in seeing? Miami.
Ooh, Jimmy Butler? Jimmy Buck?
I don't know what it is. Miami is another one that interests me. If they were moving on, I wouldn't be opposed. I was against Miami LeBron days because they were winning too much, obviously. But I wouldn't mind seeing them go right now. And I do like the Grizzlies. I wouldn't mind seeing the Grizzlies. But yeah, basketball is exciting. It's been crazy. And one last question before we move on.
Yeah.
Who do you want to see take those final seats? There's a couple teams left. Remember, I mentioned a couple teams only.
Yeah.
They're really going to have to, put forth a little bit of effort here and try to get a comeback. But who would you like to see take that eighth seed? I told you the Grizzlies are there right now with 33 wins. Trailblazers are down by 1. Spurs and Suns are the teams that are remaining, as well as the Pelicans, but they're 4 games behind.
I feel like, with the Spurs and the Suns, like nothing. We have Booker on the Suns. He sticks out. Ayton's young, so I think the Suns are coming, but I don't think they're quite there yet.
Exactly why I feel that way about Portland. I want them to, or about Memphis. I want Portland to take that because I think Memphis has a little bit of time ahead of themselves.
Yeah, that's where I was kind of getting at with like the Portland versus Memphis debate. Like, I'm a huge Ja Morant fan. You know that. Like, dude, watching how
Ja Morant.
Yeah, man. He's got a song. Like, how you get on a guy with a song? But Ja Morant, just how athletic he is, I think he's going to be a problem in the league for a while.
Agreed.
I really think he will. Like, especially as he just finds his groove and like he's still just getting into it. But I think if we talk about what team could actually like be dangerous in the playoffs, like Ja Morant's never been to the playoffs. Like he actually had that run in the college playoffs, the whole like bracket. What's that called? March Madness. Didn't he go on like a crazy run last year, and that's what got him drafted high?
Yeah.
So like he does have that experience of like high competitive pressure basketball, but he had it against college players. He didn't have it against the LeBrons of the world, the Giannis's of the world.
I see what you're saying, and I agree with that. Again, I think he has time. That team is young. They have a lot of potential, and they can go places. I know Conley probably wants something soon, but
yeah. But you got Lillard and McCollum on the Trailblazers. Like Nurkic, I like Nurkic. I like watching. I just like his style of play. Is he healthy right now? I know he gets hurt a lot, but I have more faith in that Trailblazers team doing something in the playoffs than I do in that Grizzlies team right now.
Yep.
So that's
definitely. I want Portland to take it though. I wouldn't mind seeing them get in there.
I like that. I
want to see Carmelo get a ring. That'd be epic.
I forgot about that. I saw a video of him. Like, didn't he score like 20 points the other night? Like he's been.
We're going to talk about next week how many nicknames that guy has. Every season, there's a new kind of Melo.
A whole segment on it. I'm ready for it. But for
Per
now,
hour on how many different mellows there've been.
let's transfer over to golf.
Golf. It's been it's been big lately.
Yep. So we have one of the majors going on this weekend. There's only 4 majors in a year, so this is a big deal. And we actually have this one really close to us. It's in San Francisco at Harding Park. So that's really cool. Something that's crazy that happened to me. We got Bryson DeChambeau. He's a pretty big star, but he broke his driver during a round, and not even on purpose, on complete accident. So that's just crazy to me. He had to pick something up off the ground, like a tee or something, leaned on his driver, and the shaft snapped.
Wow.
That's just insane. Like, think about that. We're just amateur golfers who go out there to have fun, right? We're there for a good time, not to go shoot low or anything. We're just trying to have fun out there. But even just trying to have fun, imagine if your driver broke like that.
You're horrible.
Dude, I had something actually kind of close happen to me a couple of years ago. I just completely forgot about it until right now. I went and played in Monterey with one of my friends, and we're on hole 1. And I have my driver, and I'm doing like a half kind of warm-up practice swing, and my driver literally just snapped in half. And I'm standing on hole 1 holding the 2 parts like, what just happened?
Wow.
Like, it's like a mental barrier. Like, you have to think about it. Like, dude, talk about perseverance, man. Like, to be able to come back from your round losing your driver, that's pretty wild, man.
Yeah.
But the good part about DeChambeau is the PGA Tour, the rules officials actually ruled that it was an accident, so he was allowed to replace the shaft during the play. So he actually got a driver to finish the round. So that's pretty cool.
That's not too bad, then.
Yeah, it definitely could have been worse. So
you got to finish it like that.
Yeah, so let's go over and look at the leaderboard. They're actually not all done playing. There's some of them still out there today. Yep. They're on their last couple holes. But what I think is pretty crazy is the leader right now is Lee from China, and he's 8 under for the tournament, but 5 under today.
Wow.
So he had a huge day, huge round 2, went 5 under. Another one I see that's notable down here is Tommy Fleetwood. He's tied for 3rd place right now. He's done for the day also, and he's at 6 under, and he shot 6 under today. So even after his even par first day, which, I mean, even par is solid. No one's going to complain about even par. But if you're going to win a major, you got to go low.
Yep.
He was able to go 6 under today, bringing him right back into contention. We also have Jason Day, Justin Rose, some big names in the top 5. Brooks Koepka, Dustin Johnson, they're close. Ooh, DJ's actually 4 under today. I like watching DJ, man. Talk about someone who just crushes drives. He hits the ball so far. It's really impressive, man. Really, really impressive. And we always got to be on Tiger watch, right? Because Sundays are always better when Tiger Woods are playing, man. I can't get enough of Tiger Woods, man. Like, dude, as a kid growing up, like, I was really interested in golf as a kid, and I still only even then like found myself wanting to watch Tiger. And like, even today where I don't watch as much golf, dude, if Tiger's in it on Sunday, I'm watching golf. Like,
yeah. He's a little ways down there though, isn't he? He's he's in the 45th, tied for 45th.
Yeah, he shot 2 under yesterday and is now at even par because he shot 2 over today. But he's through 14, so he still has 4 holes left. So fingers crossed. Hopefully he can turn it around, finish strong.
Yep. Jordan Spieth is right there with him.
Ooh, Jordan Spieth. He's 3 under today. So he actually is going the opposite way of Woods. Woods had a rough first day.
Yep.
Woods had a rough second day. Spieth had a rough first day. Actually, right by them, too, is Rory McIlroy.
I was say Rory's right there.
Got a lot of big names here at this 45th. Tied up.
Let's see. These last few holes are going to be interesting.
Very much so. Very much so. So, with that, let's move on to football. That's all I really got to say about golf.
Did you hear the top 100 just dropped?
Ooh, I did. It's always controversial, but I always like looking at it.
Have you seen it?
I have not seen it yet.
Take your guess. Who's number 1? Take your guess.
Number 1. See, because of recency bias, I feel like it has to be Patrick Mahomes. Like he's in my division. I'm a Raiders fan. Like, but dude, sometimes you just can't deny the talent. It's like in Giants. I'm a Giants fan. I can't deny how talented Clayton Kershaw is. That dude's an absolute beast.
If you guys know who's number one, go ahead and put it in the comments right down below.
Oh,
I have it here in front of me. Let's surprise Brian with the number one player. Do you guys know who it is?
oh man, it has to be Patrick Mahomes. I don't know how it's not Patrick Mahomes.
I am very surprised to be hearing Brian talking about a rival team's player as the number one player in the league.
But am I wrong? Like, dude, Patrick Mahomes.
You are, in fact, wrong, sir.
What?
Yes.
Who's number one?
Pat Mahomes comes in at a number fourth.
I'm upset. I'm upset.
Wow.
That's all I have to say. I'm upset. He's the number one player in football.
He's the number one?
Dude.
Well, according to players and coaches around the league, and I don't see it in the comments yet, I'm hoping it'll pop up soon. Maybe, maybe not. I'm just going to throw it out there. Number one, Lamar Jackson.
Okay, I don't hate it, but I think, dude, Lamar Jackson's only, what, 2 years pro?
Yeah.
Like, he's had one good year. Not to hate on Lamar Jackson. I love Lamar Jackson. I think he's an absolute problem in the NFL. But number one, dude?
He's MVP. He's the MVP. And you can't say that what he did wasn't like.
No.
You can't just say, oh, he had a good year. He had an extraordinary year.
Taking no credit from Lamar Jackson. He is
an extraordinary year.
But, like, dude, Patrick Mahomes makes throws Lamar Jackson wishes he could make. And Patrick
Mahomes is very clutch. I will forever appreciate you for showing me the Pat Mahomes song. That is forever one of my favorite songs. I'm not a Chiefs fan, but I love the song.
The twist on Take Me Home, for those of you that don't know.
Oh, my goodness. It's a great one. But, yeah, Lamar Jackson, number one overall. I kind of agree with it.
I like Lamar Jackson. I think he's a great player. And, like, obviously he had a phenomenal season last year. Like, nobody's going to say he didn't. I don't know if I'd put him as being a better player over Patrick Mahomes right now.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes did stop the – oh, man, this is going to hurt some people right now. He did stop the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, the throws Mahomes made. Mahomes will drop back, throw it like 50 yards over your head, and then the next time he'll be throwing it like sidearm through like three guys like diving for like a perfect throw. And it just mind-boggling.
All right, number two, who in my opinion is probably number one in exhibiting our core values. Who do you think it is?
Number one in exhibiting.
Family man right here. He's a class act. Great player. Crafty. Makes things happen. Who do you think it is, Brian? Who do you think it is?
Like, dude, you're talking about core values, so I'm thinking of someone who's like respect.
I'll give you a hint. It's a quarterback. It's another quarterback at number two.
It has to be. I don't agree with it, but it has to be Russell Wilson.
Bingo! Great work, sir.
I don't agree with him being the second. Like, I love Russell Wilson. He's very talented. I don't think he's the second best player in the NFL, though.
I don't know. The players don't agree with you.
Clearly.
Russell Wilson is he's dangerous though, man. He can, and similar way to Lamar Jackson and Pat Mahomes, he can make things happen in the air and on his feet. So that's what makes him so dangerous. And he's very, very, very like I said, he's crafty.
So I have one question for you. Is there any more quarterbacks on this list in the top 10?
There is not.
There's not. Okay. I think this is very interesting because
other than Pat Mahomes. So we said one is Lamar Jackson.
We got
two is Russell Wilson. Four is Pat Mahomes.
We got three, right?
Who's that? 3-3.
So my question is this a list just based off last year or based off like in general? And that's what
of last season.
See, like I don't know
how NFL releases this list.
Yeah. I don't know how you say Russell Wilson's the second best player in the league after last season. Like he carried.
Moving on. Number 3, we have. Who do you think it is?
Number 3. Trying to think who
on the defensive end. Destruction.
A defensive end? I was gonna go offense. If it's a defensive end,
it's got to be
always a defensive end, or is he sometimes like a tackle?
Sergio would be proud.
Oh, so it's Aaron Donald.
Coach, if you're in here, put it in the comments. I know you hear this. So Aaron Donald comes in at number 3. Patrick Mahomes number 4. Number 5. Now we're going wide receiver. Who's the best wide receiver in the game?
Michael Thomas.
Only one of 2 to make it.
I think Michael Thomas is the best receiver in the game right now.
Michael Thomas, that short slant, that throw it in his hands and it's gone.
Absolute monster on the field, man. That guy catches
now, he does have an amazing quarterback throwing to him.
Oh yeah, Drew Brees, he's money.
Mm-hmm.
How many more years do you think Drew Brees has in the league?
He's got a couple. He's proven it.
It's crazy though. He's gonna be like Tom Brady playing into his 40s.
Yep, that's good. That's good. That is a quality work ethic right there.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely. Talk about persevering. That's our theme for the day. But who do you think came in at number 6?
Wait, Bo Jackson's the GOAT? I respect that person. It didn't come up in our chat here, but I'm on the YouTube page. Bo Jackson, definitely the GOAT. Dude played baseball. I love that dude playing baseball also. Hit some bombs on the baseball field. Great.
Speaking of that position there, running backs. Number 6, best running back in the league.
Oh, I see you cheering, so it kind of gives it away, you in your Panthers jersey.
Woo!
But I don't know. Like, if it's solely based off last year, like I'm kind of willing to say Henry was more dominant.
Are you kidding me right now?
As a running back, as a football player.
Moving on to the next position, number 7, we have a tight end coming out of the Bay Area, Mr. George Kittle.
They put Kittle ahead of Kelsey. I find that interesting. I guess Kelsey didn't have a rough year last year.
Kelsey did not even make it to top 10. Now he is a force to be reckoned with. Don't get me wrong. I didn't come see exact number he came in, but he's up there. That's for sure.
They're sleeping on the Raiders tight end.
Yeah, definitely. Number 8. Who do you think it is?
Number 8. Give me a position.
We got a wide receiver.
Is it Julio Jones?
There's only 2 that made it on the list.
Julio Jones? No.
It's not Julio Jones.
Devontae Adams?
No, it is not. He is a new team. What's that?
The guy who got traded, huh?
Yes.
Arizona Cardinals now?
He's on a new team. He's on the Cardinals now. Who is it?
DeAndre Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins. He's one of my favorite receivers. That guy he's vicious. He takes the ball out of the air. He just snatches it out of there. In my opinion, I think I'd rather have him than Michael Thomas.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, Michael Thomas, I think part of the reason what makes Michael Thomas the best receiver in the league is Drew Brees and how much he gets thrown to.
Yeah.
Like I think if you put Michael Thomas on that Texans team that Hopkins was on last year, I don't know if he does what Hopkins does.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Before we move on,
if you put Hopkins in Michael Thomas's position, he can do the same, if not more.
Yeah. I think the best receiver in the NFL, though, Julio Jones. I think that guy is just ridiculous. I know he didn't have the best year last year, but I still think he's the best receiver in the NFL.
Julio is definitely he's a force.
No, for sure. Dude, there was one of the most forgotten plays because the Falcons choked that Super Bowl against the Patriots. But Julio Jones made a catch on the sideline that was one of the best catches I've ever seen. And nobody will remember it because they choked a 27-3 lead in the Super Bowl. So no one's gonna remember the catch by the losing team, but that catch was one of the best I've ever seen. My jaw was on the floor. But before we hop off Hopkins, I want to ask you a question because we
Yeah.
know he's a new team. How do you think he's going to translate to Arizona, going from Deshaun Watson to Kyler Murray? Like, do you think that transition works out?
Um, you know, I'm interested to see how it plays out. I think it's gonna be cool to see him next to Larry Legend.
Also got Christian Kirk out there, who looked pretty good last year.
Kirk. That'll be interesting. I think that I think well, it's hard to say, but if David Johnson doesn't perform,
Well, you have to remember, David.
Cardinals definitely got the better end.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
So,
This puts David Johnson on more of a hot seat than anything,
oh,
in
for sure.
my opinion. So
And
if he does not perform, it could mean his career, which is unfortunate. He's a great player. I know that injuries, played a huge part in his progression and his impact on the league. But DeAndre Hopkins, I think he's going to do great, and it's definitely going to help out Kyler Murray. He's a young quarterback. He's the rookie of the year. He can. I don't know if he should have got it. That's another debate. But yeah, he's potentially could be doing something. He could be putting himself in a very good position. But I'm a huge fan of Deshaun Watson. I
yeah,
love Deshaun Watson.
I feel so bad for Deshaun Watson, man. He's so talented, and that Texans team is just so bad, and it seems like they give him no help.
Yeah.
I'm hoping David Johnson can do good and turn it around just so Deshaun Watson has someone. I mean, he still has Will Fuller, but we've never seen Fuller healthy for a full season.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
it's rough. And on
We'll
the
see how it goes.
what's up?
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, for the Cardinals, I'm excited but nervous because you got that air raid offense, and it didn't really work too well last year. Like it shined at some moments, but struggled at a lot of other moments. But Kenyon Drake did come in late in the year, and that offense looked completely different.
Who are there any teams that you think can make an impact this time around? A team now, I'm talking teams that haven't necessarily non-playoff caliber teams that have made some efforts and done things. What are you doing there?
Oh, Oakland, except they're in Vegas now. The Raiders.
Oh.
I'm super biased.
I'm going to change the question.
I
So
think
non-playoff caliber teams that made some key acquisitions in the offseason, who do you think has the most capability of turning it around and making a playoff run?
Raiders. I'm hopeful, man. I'm hopeful. I mean, I need to look at what
Too many distractions right now. Too many distractions for the Raiders right now.
like what?
They're not going. There's too much for them right now. The young team.
I think the Raiders.
They're in a new atmosphere. There's a lot of expectations being put on them. I don't think you should say that they're gonna. Not that you should say, but I don't think they're going to be able to accomplish a playoff push for at least another year or two.
No, so saying a playoff push is a little much for them. But the thing is, to me, I think Derek Carr is in a make it or break it year. I really think he's been there a while. And if he doesn't show up and ball out this year, I could see Gruden moving on. And I hate to say that because I'm a huge Derek Carr fan. I really am. Just he's not aggressive enough sometimes. And if he doesn't show up and play this year, I don't know. Gruden's going to be in a situation because they're starting to put all these playmakers around him. They have Josh Jacobs who's looking good. The offensive line's getting back together. They drafted a receiver in Henry Ruggs in the first round with all that speed and the hands. And then they have Brian Edwards, who they brought in, and Tyrell Williams and Darren Waller. They have the offensive pieces. It's coming down to Derek Carr now.
Yep, definitely.
So that's where I sit on the Raiders. And I mean, they brought in huge acquisitions on the defense. They got Corey Littleton from the Rams. So
yeah.
I mean, and they brought in Malik Collins from the Cowboys, who's a good defensive tackle. So they're bringing in the pieces. I'm hopeful, but we'll see where that goes. Uh,
Definitely.
other than that, man, I hope you guys had a great time. I know I had a great time. What about you, Jacob?
I did. I had a great time. I love talking sports. I don't want to leave out the ladies though. The
Oh,
WNBA. Don't
oh,
forget that kicked off last week. It's going strong right now, and I'm interested in seeing where this goes. You know, they're the Chicago Sky. They're doing something right now, and they're leading. They're leading on the East. Seattle Storm is leading on the West. One of you know, I'm sure you know. Have you heard of Sabrina Ionescu?
yeah, she's from Oregon, right?
Yes, she's from Oregon. She's on the New York Liberty. They're not doing so well, but she is amazing, and um, I think I finally have a favorite New York team thanks to
Oh,
Sabrina Ionescu. I just want to
oh,
throw that out there. So shout out to ladies. You guys can all ball too. Everybody, um, everybody can. If you really set your mind to it, you can do it.
yeah. It's all about perseverance, not giving up and keeping going.
Yep. So I want to spend a little more time on some statistics for you guys next time on some WNBA. We'll get some lady sports in there too.
Gotta make sure we fit that in. But other than that, I hope you guys all had a great night or great day. Depends when you're watching this. But I hope you guys are doing good. And until next week.